and I wrote a book. And the name of the book is God is Still Performing Miracle. So today I would just like to share with you another miracle that God has placed in my life, that Mr. Parker introduced me to, that has made a great change in my life. So at this time, I will present to you none other than Mr. Gerald Parker. Receive him and hear him today for his grace and gift.
Pastor Neal, for that introduction, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Sounds good, guys. Hey, well, listen, we want to share with you what Pastor Neal and so many others on this Zoom right now are excited about. We talk about a life-changing opportunity. That's what we believe MWR Financial is. And MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. And we're real serious about it. So we are a 2.5, nearly 3-year-old financial strategies company designed to help people shift and grow their income. So when we talk about income shifting, we're teaching people how to shift the income back to its original owner, which is you and me. So that's what the program is designed to do. So for people who are serious about getting their financial life in order, we've got the tools, systems, and experts to assist in getting that done. Far too long, we've been struggling financially. Paycheck to paycheck, living paid on Friday, broke on Monday. We say enough of that because we don't have to struggle, particularly us being God's people. It don't make sense anyway because we're totally contradicting his word, you know, and we need to fix that. But what we don't understand is how to apply these biblical principles that are already in place. So that's why the program has been and will continue to be so successful, because the principles of this business are biblically based. And so we're teaching people through this process how to tap in and apply those principles in their life in real time and get the results. And the results should be an abundant life. I mean, a life of joy, a life of peace, a life of happiness where you're in a position to impact the lives of so many others and assist in moving God's kingdom forward. So that's what we're doing with MWR Financial. So let's get right to it. I'm going to minimize the screen here on you guys there. Here we go. Now, again, MWR Financial. MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. Now, we're home of the instant pay raise and everything you need to make wealth real. So why is this so important at this critical juncture? Because you know and I know that what worked for our parents and our grandparents could have you and me working for the rest of our lives. Is there anyone with me now who's willing to work for the rest of their lives? I don't believe so. And we don't have to do it. We've been taught that that's the way. Think about it. In our community, so we're dying and leaving bills. Other folks are dying and leaving wills. So we've been taught to get a job and then work that job until you die. And die what? Broke. And then we taught our children to do the exact same thing. So from generation to generation, this curse continues to follow us. And we can never build wealth. We can never set our people free because we don't have the financial means to do it, right? So now Forbes magazine said the greatest retirement crisis in American history is happening right now. What am I talking about? How many of us know people that have already committed 25 or 30 years of their life to a job and have gone back to work? Why are they doing it? Because they absolutely have to. They're trying to close that gap. In retirement, now you're living off a third of the income that you were making when you were working full time. Most people couldn't make it off 100%, much less a third. So in order to close that gap and maintain that lifestyle that they created while they were working, then they're forced to go back to work. Now, Money Q&A says, why professional athletes going broke? Why you and I too? We hear about it, we read about it, we see it happening every single day. It's about money management, putting money in place where money's working for you. Market Watch says most Americans are one paycheck away from the street. And I'll be very honest with you. This is where I was before this program. As a grown man, one paycheck away from the street. On any given pay period, had they come to me and said, Gerald, we can't pay you this week, I would have had two problems that day. One, how I was going to pay those bills. Two, who was going to get me out of jail that afternoon. Because I think I would have jumped on the man that day. With all the bills that I had, the responsibility I had, you tell me you can't pay me and I don't committed my 2 weeks of time? Absolutely not. But many people are in that same situation right now. So as a result, NASDAQ says more than half Americans will retire broke. And these are facts, folks. This is what we're up against as a society. So now the mission with MWR Financial is to provide you with the same strategies and experts used by the wealthy to overcome the financial challenge created by the tax, credit, banking, and educational system. So why do we mention the education system? Because we feel that they bear some responsibility in all of this. Why don't we talk these things early on? How to save, budget, and invest. Even balance a checkbook. Now, they'll teach you sex education in school, but they won't teach you anything about money, all by design. They don't want you to know, because if you learn this system, then you no longer have to rely on the system. So never expect the system that empowers you to empower you. So they don't want you to know these things. So as a result, 70% of Americans have less than $5,000 saved at age 65. Now you think about that. A person, say, goes to college, finishes college when they're 21, 22 years old, gets a job, works till they're 65, and here we are with 70% of the population can't put their hands on $5,000. You've seen it happen before. Many situations in our community where family members are passing away and we're passing the hat to try to raise money to bury. That's where we are. So why is all this happening? That's because 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, like I was doing. Another 70% of Americans pay too much in taxes. 80% of Americans have credit challenge, and then 90% of us are buried in debt. You know how it works in the Black community when we talk about debt, right? And why are we in this debt? Because we spending money we don't have, buying things that we don't need to impress folks that we don't even like. Craziest thing I've ever seen. But we caught up, and that's what we do. Yep, we want the floss, as the young people say. So now we say it all stops today, right? So if it is going to stop, how do we do it? So it all starts with our instant pay rate. This is our proven strategy to increase the take-home pay of over 150 million W-2 employees, starting with their very next paycheck. If you're waking up every morning, going to a job, you're definitely overpaying taxes, and we're going to show you how to get it back. How do we do this? Our experts are going to help you do two things. One, we're going to stop overpaying taxes and letting the government use your money all year long, interest-free. And then we're going to use the home-based business tax laws to increase your deductions so that you can pay less and keep more. Because we understand this. It's not just how much you make, it's what you keep that counts. Would you agree with me? I would hope so. Now, we're asking people who did or have bought into this system already, is Uncle Sam sending you a thank you letter for the interest-free loan that you gave? I mean, you think about it. So they're deducting this money from your check every 2 weeks, large amounts of money that you don't ever see. You just get the check stub. But now over the course of 12 months, they've taken all this money from you. And then we get excited about waiting on a refund. All the refund is your own money given back to you. Think about it, refund. Look at the word. Re means again, fund means money. Now, folks with money ain't living like this. Those wealthy folks don't wait on no refund. We're the only ones that seem to be caught up because we don't understand it. But the sadder part for me is that in our community, and I can talk about my folks, when we get this large chunk of money from the refund, 30, 60, 90 days, we broke. Right back where we started. We've invested nothing. We've saved nothing. We've started no business. I recently saw a woman spend $500 for a Coach bag, right? From a tax refund. Now she don't spend all other money. That's all she had left. So I knew the woman well enough where I could ask this personal question. How much money you got in the bag? $10. Now I would rather have spent $100 on the bag and put $400 in my pocket than to spend $500 on the bag and end up with $10 on. So, but that's the sort of mindset. So there's a paradigm shift that has to happen for us to understand that we can't foolishly do those kinds of things or continue to do those kind of things and expect to have something. Now, our experts are going to help you make these adjustments in your W-4. We're not going to trust people to do this on their own. You get a licensed, trained financial expert, a CPA, that's going to help you make these adjustments. They'll even complete the form for you. All you got to do is sign off on it and walk it up to your HR department or your payroll department, submit it, and see the difference of money come to your check the following pay period. That's the power in the program. Now, here's strategy 2. We're going to use the tax laws to pay less. The home-based business deductions, IRS tax code publication 535. Legal law on the books has always been there. Why don't we have access? Because we don't understand it. We don't know it. We're not privy to a lot of this information. But now you've got to qualify to take advantage of this tax break that they give home-based business owners. So what are the qualifications? You must have the intent to generate a profit. You're in business to make money, so we qualify there. We want to actively participate in our business. We're here this afternoon to do just that. Then we want to keep proper records. And then we also only want to claim expenses that are ordinary and necessary. So look at what our experts are going to help you do. They're going to help you convert your personal expenses to business expenses. Now, I love this because this is money we're spending already anyway. So as a home-based business owner, now you qualify for 180 potential deductions that you otherwise wouldn't have had as a W-2 employee. All right, so now you get a chance to deduct mileage. 58 cents a mile is what they're paying. Going and coming, I'm tracking miles, right? And we're even going to give you an expense tracking system as part of our program to help you keep up with all of this. Cell phone expense, I'm writing mine off every month. Are you? Internet, all right? Business expense, business meals, business trips, medical insurance and expenses, even hiring your children between the age of 7 and 17, a $12,000 tax credit per child. Now, other folks who are privy to this information, instead of giving their children an allowance, and you got to help me understand this business of allowance, because I never got one when I was a child. I mean, my mother was not willing to pay me for work that I should be doing anyway. So we're going to give our children allowances for work that they ought to be doing anyway. But other folks have figured out you don't give them the allowance, you write them a check. You make them part of the family business, and you take the tax credit of up to $12,000 per child. You think about that. 2 children, $24,000 less in taxes you pay because they're part of your home-based business or your family business. So we've got to understand and learn how this thing works. Now, the other thing we want to do is help you get what we call an instant pay raise. So we know that most people are overpaying taxes. So the national average of money that we can put back into a family's home is $300 to $600 a month. You think about the ability to infuse an additional $600 a month into a family's home from the existing finances without the husband and wife having to go out and take time away from the kids to get a part-time job, but from your existing finances to create this new money for you. So we know what an instant pay raise is going to do for you. It's going to improve your lifestyle. You're going to release some stress. You're going to live better. You'll catch up on some bills, and you'll be able to give more to your church or charity. In my case, lower my blood pressure. Where was my stress coming from? My lack of money. Once I got that part squared away, I no longer needed the blood pressure medication. Listen, I went to my doctor and I challenged them. They had me on this medication called lisinopril. Some of you may have heard of it before, right? So now, but the side effects to this lisinopril was that over time it would damage my liver. So if I continue to take this medication, I'm going to cause myself even more problems. 10, 15 years down the road, I'll go back to that same doctor for a liver transplant. So trying to avoid that, how do we do this, doc? So I said, let's figure something else out, because I don't want to continue to have to do this. So he recommends changing my eating habits on some things, an exercise schedule I needed to commit to and all that. I said, okay, I've got some ideas myself, and I'm going to add those into these things that you're suggesting. So it gives me something to monitor my blood pressure that will record it for me so I couldn't cheat. So I wore it every day, took the pressure every day, said if it proves out that your pressure is where it needs to be for 30 days, you come back to me. We'll look at the monitor, and if everything checks out, we'll get you off the medication. Sure enough, 30 days goes by, I go back. He, pulls up the information that was locked into the monitor where I check the pressure every day. And for sure, every day my pressure was perfect. So he said to me, so what did you do? He said, did you do the workout? I said, a little bit. Did you change your eating habits? Somewhat. He said, well, what really worked for you? I got my money right. That's what I did, Doc. I took the pressure off, because the pressure for me was the money. Listen, waking up every morning worrying about it, going to bed every night worrying about it, dragging it throughout the day. Lord, where am I going to get enough money to do the things that I need to do for myself and my family? So once I got that behind me, I think I probably extended my life 10 or 20 years as a result of that. Surely it won't be because of high blood pressure, because that pressure is gone. Now, how do we make all this happen? We introduce you to MWR's Financial Edge membership. You're going to get a team of personal financial experts that use proven strategies to secure you and your family's financial future. Now, it all starts with Money Max. This is our unlimited financial advice on demand. So you get unlimited consultation from CPAs, CFPs, and EAs. Those are what they call enrolled agents, right? So we're working with people who are licensed enrolled agents with the Internal Revenue Service. Now you're getting advice from qualified experts without having to pay $200 to $300 an hour, because that is the cost for a good CPA and financial planner. So this is why we're priced out of it, because we can't afford it. The other thing we want to do is help you enhance your credit score. We know the importance of a high credit score, because it's going to lower your interest rates, it's going to lower your down payments, it's going to lower your insurance premium. So here's an example of a 29-point increase in a credit score. Go from 661 to 690. If you had an automobile loan over 60 months, you save over $2,000. On a credit card over 48 months, you save another $2,000. On a mortgage over 40 years, you save over 30 years, you save over $40,000. But let's go back to that credit card for a minute. Take that same credit card that you've got, continue to make those minimum payments on that credit card. And I promise you, you'll have that credit card in your pocket 15 years from today, or maybe even longer, but all by design. See, the goal is to get you in debt. And once they get you in debt, they want to keep you in debt. So longer they can keep you in debt, the more they profit. Now, the Bible says that that sort of practice causes you to be a slave because you are the borrower and not the lender. See, we got this thing all wrong. We're operating from the tail and not the head. So this is why it's so important that we understand these principles. But let me show you what the average American family is dragging around with them daily. Principal balance, $209,000. Now that includes a mortgage, credit card, student loan, car payments, 2 car payments probably, and it's costing them $2,985 to cover that expense. Their time in debt is 29 years, but look at the interest they're gonna pay, $233,000. That's more than the principal, but you know how it works. Buy a house for $100,000, finance it for 30 years, make every payment on time, and end up paying $300,000 for the house. That's a $200,000 profit for the banker. So the banker takes his $200,000 and sends his kid up to Chapel Hill to law school, and we struggle to get our kids to community college. So now with Equity Max, our program, we take that same 29 years worth of debt and pay it off in 7 years and 11 months. So you want to drag that debt around for 29 years, or you want to get it off your back in 7 years, 11 months? Makes more sense 7 years, 11 months for me, because we're not the old man anything. All right. So now we're only going to pay $73,000 in interest versus $233,000. Look at what we've done. We've saved that person 21 years, 1 month, saved them $159,000 in interest, and just freed up $2,985 in money that they were using to pay bills. Now, when we create this sort of positive cash flow situation for a person, we need to start talking about investing this money. See, you want to create a position for yourself where you've got money making money for you. Why is this so important? Because we know when you and I are sleeping, money is still working. Money doesn't ask for vacation. It never shows up late. It doesn't talk back. It does exactly what it needs to do. Compound interest is the most fascinating concept that has ever been developed. So we're going to help you do that by surrounding you with investment consultants, right? So now you're getting expert advice from real wealth experts. These professionals are going to analyze and develop a wealth plan for you and your family. Now, 2 of the concepts that we promote successfully. One is self-banking, the private reserve account, the best way to save, grow, and protect your money tax-free with no risk of loss. I'll say it again. Tax-free, you're paying no taxes on this money, and you're guaranteed never to lose any money. Who does that? Wealthy people do that. Now we've got access to the same systems that we can do the exact same thing. Even land banking, real estate investing, buying land at 20 to 40% below the market value in the path of growth, we're never having to write a check. So think it not strange that these things are happening. So at this point, when I'm learning all this, the guy says to me that, Gerald, these are the secrets of the wealthy. So I whispered back to him, because he tried to tell me that in confidence. So I whispered back to him, truly, if they are secrets, then you told the wrong person, because I can't hold water. I'm going to tell everybody, you need to know the good news, that we don't have to continue to struggle like this. All we got to do is get a handle on this money game. Now, you do realize there's a money game being played, and we don't know the rules, so that's why we're losing. We can't even get in the game, most of it, because we don't understand how to play it. But let me show you something here. Now, this is what excites me. You talk about an inheritance for your children's children. I'm living proof that you can position yourself where that can be a reality. And then God's going to hold us accountable if we don't get this done anyway. And I'm asking you, if you don't position yourself where you can leave this inheritance, who in the world is going to do it for your children and your grandchildren? The state in which you reside, you think they're going to do it? The federal government maybe. I'm sorry. I know what you're waiting on. Reparations. 40 acres and a mule. I'm telling you folks, it ain't going to happen. It's up to us to make this happen. We can't wait on nobody else to depend on nobody else to do this for us. Let me show you what, look at what an investment account would do for you. At a minimum return of 3%, let's say a middle return of 6% and 12% over a 10, 20, 30-year period. Now, we done paid off all these bills. We know we're going to save you $300 to $600 a month in taxes. We're going to enhance your credit score so you can pay off those high interest rate loans and save you another $300. Pay off all your debt of $2,985. And now we've got $3,500 a month as an investment vehicle, right? Of money that we can use to invest. Look at this over a 10, 20, 30-year period. Pick any number you want, but let's use the middle number. 6% over a 20-year period. That's $1.6 million. That's a pretty good start right there. Now, truth be told, your children haven't figured out how to articulate this to you yet, but this is what they're expecting from you. And why are they expecting? Because you owe them an inheritance. So don't shortchange them, because their dreams may never be able to be realized because you didn't do what you needed to do. You think about this. Suppose my mother and father and your mother and father had this business of inheritance figured out, and took it very seriously and positioned themselves so when you and I got to a point where we were serious about what we wanted to do with the rest of our life, you had $500,000 waiting for you. Where would you be today? Probably not on this Zoom with me. But what kind of life could you have created for yourself if you were in that position? Don't you want to give your children that same opportunity? Here's the way I'm looking at it, right? So my grandson, I got to tell this story. Caleb is 12 years old. So Caleb says to me, he shares his heart with me, and I love him, and I'm pouring everything I can into this kid. He says, Papa, I figured out what I want to do, what I want to be in life. I said, okay, tell me, Caleb, what is it? He said, I want to be an NBA basketball player. So now, listen, I'll never be the one to destroy Caleb's dream. I'll never be the one to take that away from him. But I want you to understand, my grandson ain't never going to be no NBA basketball player. Why? Because Caleb doesn't have the work ethic. He probably at home playing some video game right now instead of outside shooting basket, which is what he should be doing. He's got to take his commitment to a different level in order to achieve that sort of greatness. And God has given him some talent, but he's got to expand on that talent by doing the work. He doesn't have the work ethic to do it, but the boy is smart now. Principal lists every 6 weeks. So I said to Caleb, let's start talking about plan B, just in case you don't make an NBA team. See, because he thinks about it totally different than me. He wants to play for an NBA team. I want to own an NBA team. So I said, let's go to plan B. What else would you like to do? He said, well, I want to be a doctor. Now, I know he can be a doctor because he's got the smarts to do it, no question about it. Now, let us suppose that as my responsibility to leave an inheritance for my children's children, I'm to position myself to help Caleb go to medical school. Because again, we know he's not going to be an NBA basketball player. So we know Caleb's going to be a doctor. So Papa has to square himself away and position the inheritance so that Caleb will have enough money to go to medical school. Now, what happens if I drop the ball and don't get it done? Let's just say the gift that God has bestowed in Caleb, my grandson, is the cure for cancer. So how many hundreds of thousands, of millions of people will have to die because I didn't do what I needed to do because my grandson was the one that God had bestowed the gift to come up with the cure for cancer, and I didn't have my money together, so I couldn't send him to medical school. So he's now at the community college learning to be a radiation technician or something. That's as close as he ever get to the hospital with the ability, the capabilities of becoming a doctor. But I didn't have my money together. See, so that's how serious I take the inheritance. I need to position him. I need to be in a position to make sure that he can fulfill his true promise. So that's the serious, and that was just my story about the commitment to the inheritance. And I think if we took this seriously enough, we could position ourselves as families across this country where we can change our situations all over this land. No question about it. So everything I've just shared with you is going to give you the opportunity to succeed. Money max, credit max, equity max, wealth max, strategies and experts that do all the work. So we say, don't take any chances with your finances. Get the Financial Edge membership for only $79.97 a month. Now that fee includes your spouse. No contract, no setup, your complete financial strategies membership. Now you tell me where you're going to go for $79.97 anywhere in the United States and get one of these services, much less all of them, anywhere in the country. You can't do it. $79.97 gets you CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration experts, debt elimination experts, and investment consultant. That's the power in the membership. So now let me just give you my results. I plugged into this program out of necessity. A grown man going to work every day, paid on Friday, broke on Monday. You've never had to do it, so you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. But I knew that God had more for me than that, and there was no way in the world I was going to keep living like that. It was too frustrating, absolutely. So when this program showed up, and I said to the guy, if it can do everything that you say it can do, I'm all in. Because I needed this help in my financial life. I just couldn't keep doing it. So I plugged in. I followed the instructions to the T, did exactly what they told me to do because I needed results. So I plugged in with Money Max. Those were the CPAs. They looked at my current tax situation and got me back $350 a month. Money I saw on my check 2 weeks later. Now think about it. The pay period before that, paid on Friday, broke on Monday. I didn't have no money. You know what I used to do on payday Fridays? I filled my car with gas. Now, if me and you were friends and you called me on Saturday and said, hey, let's go somewhere. You know what I would ask you? I sure hope you driving. Because I done filled my car with gas on Friday. I got to get back and forth to work for the next 2 weeks. I'm on a budget. It was just that tight for me. I know, listen, y'all ain't never experienced it, so you don't understand what I'm saying. But I got to tell you the story, where I've come from and where this program has taken me. So that was my challenge. So on this particular pay period that I get the instant pay raise after the CPA review my situation, I got $175 more money than I had the pay period before. Now I'm feeling pretty good about things right now. You know what I did that Friday? I took myself out to a fancy dinner. I went to PF Chang's. I love Chinese food. I sat there for 2 hours, ordered everything on the menu. The waitress kept coming back to the tables, asking me, you all right, sir? Are you okay? I was just enjoying myself. I took my time. It was peaceful. It was easy. I enjoyed the meal. There was no rush. I mean, it was incredible. But as I'm sitting there, I'm saying to myself, I should be able to do this anytime I want to. Anytime I want to. Then I move on to the second part of the program, which is Credit Max. Now, I want to tell you, before this program, I couldn't buy a newspaper on time. All of you on this Zoom right now could have co-signed for me, and we still wouldn't have got nothing. You hear people talk about identity theft. If they had stole mine, they would have brought it right back to me and said, man, we can't do nothing with this. But I plugged into this program. I got a 128-point increase in my credit score. I don't have to tell you what it did for me, but I will tell you. 10 feet tall, bulletproof, strong as thunder. It changed everything for me. What I did not realize is that 128-point increase got me a reduction in my homeowners and automobile premium by $100 a month. So I'm saving even more money. Then I move on to Equity Max. Now, this is the portion of the program that's going to help me eliminate debt in record time. So I drug into this program with me 15 years worth of remaining debt. That included a small balance on a mortgage. These guys have positioned me to pay that debt off in 6.5 years. That was 2.5 years ago. 4 years from today, zero balance on everything I'm doing. Oh, no, man, nothing. Not to mention the $52,000 in interest they saved me that I otherwise would have paid to the creditors had I stayed on their plan. And then the final piece, Wealth Max. This, to me, was the most exciting part of the program because now I'm surrounded with these investment consultants. Why is that so important? Because I'm going to a job every day. I'm putting money into a 401k. I contribute enough where the company gives me the match. But even with the match, the growth of the fund is so slow that I was scheduled to work for these guys for another 25 years. So think about it. Now, I was 55 when they showed me the program. You add 25 to that. What that sound like? 80? There was no way in the world that I was going to make it. So I said to these guys, help me create an investment vehicle that will get me out of here sooner rather than later, that will generate more money than this 401k plan, because I can't do 25 more years for these guys. So then they started speaking what I thought was French, because they were talking about stuff I'd never heard of before. A private reserve account. This whole concept of self-banking, where I would be in total control and I would be my own bank. I could put money into a fund, have access to this money anytime I want it, for any reason I need it, never pay taxes on it, and then would be guaranteed never to lose any money. So me being naive about this whole money game, I said to the guy, that sounds like a rich man's game. Where am I going to get $10,000 or $20,000 to start investing into an account to get these kind of returns that you're talking about? He said, Mr. Parker, you don't need $10,000 or $20,000. The same $350 that they saved me in taxes, or the money that I used to jumpstart the investment account, turns out this private reserve account is paying me 10 times more than my 401k, put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. Listen, I told you earlier, when I first asked them about it, they started speaking what I thought was French. By the time these guys had finished with me, I was speaking French. Parlez-vous français? We were sure. I mean, it was the most amazing thing that I'd ever seen. For the first time in my life, 50 plus years, in my life, I had finally got things worked out where I knew how it was going to end. I knew I wasn't going to die broke. I knew I was going to be able to leave an inheritance. I wasn't worried no more about money. I was on my way to being a debt-free person with zero bills. I had all of that worked out through this system because I surrounded myself with these experts. Wise counsel is what the Bible speaks of. I surrounded myself with wise counsel. and look at the results. And then these guys say something like this to somebody like me. You go out and tell this story and we'll pay you a ridiculous amount of money. I love to talk. Tell this story, I'll be glad to tell it because everybody wants to hear this story. Because I knew a million people that needed the same thing to happen to them. So I said, first, my question was, do I need to learn how to fix anybody's credit? Nope, we got experts. They do all that. Do I need to learn how to do taxes? No, we got CPAs. They handle that. Do I need a license to invest? No, sir. You don't. You won't be investing in anything. The experts do the work. You just tell the story. So I started telling the story to anybody who would listen, at my job, at my church, at the grocery store, at the gas station. And when I say ridiculous, it's gotten so ridiculous that on the 15th of this month, to God be the glory, I was able to walk away 12 months ago from a $65,000 a year job to do this very thing full time. And when I say do this, what I'm doing with you right now, this is all I do. I ain't broke no sweat yet. This is the easiest money I've ever made. Why? Because everybody needs it. We're dealing with an issue since people have been struggling with since the beginning of time. And surely everybody that looks like me needs it. I know it. I absolutely know it. So all I've got to do is offer you a way out. And here it is, MWR Financial. So you can take full advantage of just the services. Get your financial life together using the expert. But if you're like me and you want to generate additional stream of income that could possibly set you free, then you look at the income opportunity as well. So I jumped in with both feet, took full advantage of everything. So let's talk about the income opportunity real quick. We just got a few more slides. We're almost there. So MWR Financial is going to pay you and me to share the instant pay raise strategies that I talked about, the Financial Edge membership, and the opportunity with others. And then you enjoy the rewards. What are the rewards? Guaranteed income, immediate income, leveraged income, residual income, passive income, and bonus income. That's a whole lot of income right there. Now, people always say to me, well, Gerald, who am I going to talk to about this program if I'm going to market this thing? How many W-2 employees do you know? Now, I got back $350, saw that money in my check 2 weeks later. How many people do you know would like to see the same thing happen for them? You look at the money you pay in taxes. And let's be honest, that's a tremendous, listen, that's your biggest expense. It's not your mortgage. It's not your car payment. It's not your credit card debt. Your biggest expense is taxes. Why? Because they can tax you up to 37% of your earnings. And who cut that deal? Who allowed them to do that? 37%? And then you got to take the rest of your money to try to make do. Pay your bills, buy your food, pay your light bill, car payments, all those kind of things. And then you wonder why we're short on tithes and offering, Pastor. This is why. We're going to always be short. When we get hit that hard up front, that money comes right off the top. You don't even see it. There's no room for negotiations before they write that check. They take that money from you. So 150 million people need your help right now. Government employees, family and friends, co-workers, church members, business professionals, classmates. You refer those people and earn a guaranteed income. And I've got some people on this phone or on this Zoom right now that can confirm and be a witness to this guaranteed income. And we're the only company in the industry that offers you a guarantee. Meaning once you put this thing in motion, whether you get out of bed or not, this money coming. Pastor Neal, can I get a witness? I mean, this thing is amazing. Pastor Barnes, Pastor Odom, all of you have seen it in real time. Now, here's the thing that excites me. Did I tell you we get paid every day? Every day that the Lord sends. I come from a situation where I was paid on Friday, broke on Monday. And 2 weeks before I got some more money, to a situation where I'm getting paid every single day. Matter of fact, I just got my text confirmation at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, MWR Financial sends you a confirmation on your daily earnings every day. So we love when 5 o'clock comes. We love when 5 o'clock. A lot of people are dreading 5 o'clock, wishing 5 o'clock would hurry up and get here so you can get off that job. We looking at that text at 5 o'clock to show us how much money we made today. So let's talk about the income. We'll go through this real quick. Now, how do we generate income if you're going to take full advantage of the income opportunity? We're going to refer customers. These are people who say, Gerald, I don't want to do no network marketing. I'm not interested in all that kind of stuff. I just want to get my financial life in order. I need these services. I got to get my credit fixed. I need these CPAs. I want to save some money on my taxes and all that kind of stuff. I said, okay, $79.97, Mr. Customer. That's what you're going to pay. That fee includes your wife. So there's no outside fees for the separate for the spouse. Now, the beauty of it is when that customer pays $79.97, MWR Financial is going to split that with me and you, the representative, and pay us 40 right up front. If you signed up as a customer today, you would get paid today. That person would get paid today. Now, the beauty in what we do, our goal is to help people understand that we want to help you save and make money, not cost you any money. So we say to the customer, if you refer 3 customers, we'll waive your $79.97 membership. Who does that? MWR Financial does that. This is our 3 and free program. So we say to Mr. Customer, listen, refer 3 people and you don't pay your $79 anymore. You still have access to the full range of all the services. So now, why is this so successful? Because if a person is my customer and they come to me because they've got credit issues, 10 times out of 10, everybody they know has the same problem, right? How can I be so sure of that? Because birds of a feather flock together. If you broke, then everybody around you broke. That's part of the reason why you broke. You think about it. They say that where you are today in your financial life is the average of 5 of your closest friends. So and seriously think through this with me, because it's real. You take your 5 closest friends and you figure out what they're making, and then you look at what you're making. It's right there. You all are right in the same place. So now when I figured all this out, I changed all my friends. So all the friends I got now are wealthy, rich, well off. So as a result, my income is increasing. Why? Because the conversations are different. The activity is different. We don't do the same old things that I used to do with my broke friends. So it never fails. But here's the thing about those customers. Now, when they refer those 3 people, MWR Financial can't pay the customer. They're not representatives of the company. So who gets paid that $40 referral on each one of those people? You do. So what about those 3 when they refer people? You're getting paid on those as well. So I want you to understand that there's a huge income stream just in customer referral. But the CEO and founder of MWR Financial, Mr. Brian House, a very generous man, said not only are we going to pay you the $40, but we'll give you $10 a month on each one of those customers also. So you have a chance to begin to build residual income from those customers. Now that's one way that we get paid, or a couple. Let's show you some more. We got what we call momentum bonuses, right? So you plug me into the program, bring me in as a representative. I see the full picture. I want to hit the ground running. I need the services, but I want to generate some additional income. So MWR Financial is going to pay you $50 for bringing me in. But you go out and get you 2 more people. They're going to pay you $50 for each one of them. So you just made $150. But because you've done that within 30 days, now you qualify for what we call our momentum bonus. So MWR Financial is going to pay you an additional $150. So you've made $300, far more than what it's cost you to join this business, right? But the beauty in what we do, this program is designed for you to be able to reach back and help other people succeed. Now, if you don't have a heart for people and you're not willing to help people grow and succeed financially, this is not the business for you. But if you've got a heart for people and you want to reach back and help some other people succeed, look at what happens. There's a financial reward in that. You help those 3, get their 3. Now MWR Financial will qualify you for a $450 momentum bonus. But let's duplicate that one more time. Help those 3 get 3, and then help those 3 get their 3. There's $900 more on the table. That's $1,500 in bonus money. They give us 90 days to do it, but there's nothing saying that you got to wait 90 days. You could do this in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, but the money is there. So here's another way that we get paid. We call this our leadership expansion bonus. So you've got your 3 people now. So you've just promoted yourself to your first rank in MWR Financial. You are now an executive director. So as an executive director, what you want is to get all the money that's on the table. We don't want to leave anything. So you need to position yourself now to do what they call coding. And there are many people on this phone that can attest to this. When we talk about coding, you need to sponsor your 4th person. So that 4th person you sponsor is me. So instead of $50 MWR is going to pay you, they're going to pay you an additional $10. This is override coding. So you made $60 for bringing me in. Well, how about the 10 people that I'm bringing with me? You're going to make $10 in each one of those people. So you just made an additional $200. Why? Because you're helping me grow my business. Then you want to promote yourself to senior executive director. Now you're coding what they $20. So instead of 50, you're making 50 plus 20, $70 for everybody you sponsor, and then $20 for everybody they sponsor. And now you go to area director, you're making $95, 50 plus 45 for everybody you personally sponsor, and then $45 for everybody they sponsor. As a district, you're making $105 for everybody you personally sponsor, all right, and $55 for everybody they sponsor. As a regional, $115. plus $65 for everybody they sponsor. National, we can't even speak on it yet because nobody's gotten there. There are only 2 regional directors in the company right now. And so that's how wide open this is, but it gets even better. Look at here. We've got a chance to get what we call a 25% check match. Now, what does that mean? That means you sponsored me into the program. I'm off and running. I make $1,000. NWR Financial pays you $250. Why are you getting that $250? Because you helped me grow my business. So there's the financial reward and you reaching back to help some other folks grow. We just got a few more slides here. We're going to wrap this up. Now, look at here. I believe that this is the easiest to achieve car bonus in the industry. And why do I believe that? Because I've been able to do it, yes, but so many other people have too. So the first tier, the MWR Financial Car Bonus, is $500 a month. The second tier is $1,250. The third tier is $3,000 a month. They say get your house and a car. MWR Financial is not going to force you to buy a house or a car. Once you qualify, you can do whatever you want to with the money. How do you reach these levels and get these bonuses? So it's all point driven. Point meaning everybody that comes into your organization as a representative qualifies you for 3 points. Every customer gets you 2 points. Not just what you do, but what your entire team does. So now when I got car qualified, I didn't have a car payment. Wasn't interested in taking on any more debt. But the more I thought about it, if somebody else is going to pay for it, I might as well get me a car. So I didn't know any better. Being from the country like I am, I went out and got the very car you see on the page right here. Mercedes-Benz E-Class 350. Sweetest ride I've ever seen, but I'm enjoying it. But here's the thing, MWR Financial is paying for it. But let me tell you a quick story about the car. Now, I've made some bad financial decisions in my life. Some of those decisions were so bad, I dug holes so deep, it took me years to climb out of it. So now that I'm surrounded with this wise counsel, I'm not ever going to make another bad financial decision again. So I called up my experts and I said, listen, I'm car qualified. I want to take advantage of that. How should we proceed? So the guy says to me, well, Gerald, we have you on a budget. All right. We got $300 a month disposable income, no more. Now, we got your credit scores at its max, so we know we get the best rate that the bank has. What we need to determine now is how much we're going to pay for the car, and they help me do all the internet research. And then we need to determine what sort of down payment we're going to need to stay within that $300 a month payment range. So I was on the phone with them guys. When I get it all worked out, Pastor Lawson, I get up the next morning, put on my best suit. I go down to the local bank. I walk in, I said, introduce me to the person that's handling your car loan program. They walked me up to a lady, I looked her in the eye and I shook her hands. I said, listen, I want to drive the car. I don't want to live in it. I'm only going to pay you $300 a month. So she took my paperwork, looked it over, went across the hall, let some man see it. He signed off on it. She came back to her office. Then she looks me in the eye and she says, Mr. Parker, whatever you want to do. For the first time in my life, I was able to dictate the term. I walked in that bank that morning just like I owned it. I was strong and thunder on paper. I couldn't be denied. They had to go right along with it. So that's the beauty of getting your financial life in order and putting yourself in a position to be able to do things like this. I mean, but think you're not strange, right? Who am I? I'm the kid of a king, child of the Most High God. This is the kind of stuff we do. And because through him, we can do these kinds of things. So now look at what has happened. My business is growing. All these other people are coming in. And again, not for my personal growth, but just team growth as the business growing. I woke up one morning and found myself on the second tier of the car bonus. So now MWR Financial is giving me $1,250 a month. The car payment, $312 a month. I was already taking half the difference of that money, $500, and putting that into the investment account only because of the discipline from the program. But now I'm at $1,250. All right. Now the foolish me, the undisciplined me would have took the $1,200 and went and got me a Maserati to show off. You know what I'm saying? Because our folks want to see something. They always want to see something. And where do I get this crazy idea from? It came from the Mercedes. I was still working the job when I got the car. I drove it back to work the next day. And all them guys who laughed at me, told me it was a joke, said it was a pyramid. One guy even said, them white folks got you fooled. Ain't nobody never gonna pay for no new car for you. When I drove that car up there, I opened the door and the guy that talked all the trash said, stick your head in there and smell that leather. He couldn't believe it. Another guy I know was talking a lot of trash. He liked music. I put him in the back seat, turning on that stereo system. He didn't want to get out of the car. And finally, the guy that talked all the trash, I said, here are the keys. Take it around the corner and then bring it back and park it for me. I said, this is the closest you ever going to get to luxury because you have no vision for your life. You don't believe these kinds of things are possible. But here's what happened. 10 people joined my business that week. Them same 10 that laughed at me, same 10 that told me it wasn't going to work. but I gave them something to see, you see? So I had this crazy idea. If 10 people would join my business with a Mercedes, man, if I got a Maserati, I'd probably get 100 people. But that would have been foolish, right? For the wrong reason. So I called my expert again. I said, look, I've qualified for the additional income of $1,250. What should we do? The guy said, Gerald, we'll take a portion of the money and put into the investment account. Instead of you retiring in 10 years, we can get you there in 7. And then we'll take the difference of the money and put toward the car, and we'll pay the car off a year and a half early. See, these kind of things I would have never figured out. I didn't have that sort of discipline to be able to do this. So now let's talk about this guaranteed income. We're just about done here, folks. But the daily guarantee, I told you you're getting points for every rep, 2 points for every customer, 3 points for every rep. You go out in response to Jenny, Lisa, and John. Now, in order to keep this business within compliance of state law, regulations, and all of that, we've got to have a product or service that we're selling. That's where the membership comes in. So they're requiring us to have one outside membership. That's somebody who's not building the business with you, just using the services. You've got these 3 representatives and 1 outside customer. You've just guaranteed yourself $5 a day, $150 a month. So someone said to me, $150 a month don't sound like a whole lot of money. Let me show you what $150 looks like. In order to receive $150 a month ongoing for an indefinite period of time, you've got to have $36,000 sitting somewhere that you can't touch that's paying you 5% interest. So I said to the guy, what's easier? Put your hand on $36,000 or go find you 3 people. It was easier for me to go get 3 people. I didn't have $36,000. But look at what happened when they showed me what would happen if I got those 3 people. So they say, what would happen if you help 3 people get an instant pay raise and then taught those people to do the exact same thing? Look at what happens. 3 turns into 9, 9 into 27, 27, 81, 81 into 243, and so on. If you max this thing out over 10 levels, I don't care if it took you 20 years to do it. Look at where you end up. 3,084 people on your team, $1,000 a day, $30,000 a month in income. I'm going to just hold right here for a minute because I want you to close your eyes and dream with me. $30,000 a month in income coming into your home, starting the first of next month and every month thereafter. What could you do? What changes? The clothes you wear, car you drive, the house you live in, what your tithes and offerings look like, what your relationship with your pastor start looking like. $30,000 a month. What sort of impact could you have, not only in your life, but in those around you, in your community? $30,000 a month in income, month after month after month. Now, you may not even need $30,000. Wherever you want, you see the chart. 3 people makes you $5 a day, $150 a month. 12 people, all you've done is help those 3 get 3. You're at $20 a day, $600 a month. 100 people makes you $50 a day, $1,500 a month. So you pick your number. I just happen to need $30,000 a month. Why? Because God has given me a huge assignment, and I need the financial means to complete that assignment. Now, the toughest part for me in this business is trying to convince folks that look like me that you're worthy of this level of income. I don't know why we don't believe it. I started jumping for joy when I saw this because I saw the possibility. But most of us don't believe that we're even capable of generating this level of income. But that's kingdom income right there. That's impactful. Listen, with that kind of money, they'll name a street after you. See, at my church, when I'm gone, they're going to name the fellowship hall after me because I'm going to give them enough money to build a new one. That's impact right there. That's legacy money. That's what this kind of stuff would do for you. So now if $30,000 a month is too much for you, you probably want me to just go home now because there's more money on the table. This is our presidential club. This is more residual income. I told you needed 200 points to get to the car bonus, 250 points, 50 more points only gets you to the first level of the presidential club, starts at 500, pays up to $100,000 a month. Now, help somebody get there, then you're sharing a 25 to 50% bonus match. So here's the $1 million question. I mean, what do you want from this? We created what we call our 6-figure guaranteed income strategy. Now, this is for the people who say, Gerald, that 3 who getting 3, that's slow money. I got influence. I know people. Show me how to get to the money fast. All right. You go get your 12 people. Do this on Monday. Tuesday, start collecting $20 a day, $600 a month. 12 people on your team. But help those 12 get 5. Help those 5 get 3. Help those 3 get 2. You got 612 people on your team. Now, I looked at my cell phone the other day. I got 485 contacts. Suppose I could lock arms with all those people. We touch and agree on this thing. And they say, Gerald, we see what you see. We're going to run to the hills with you on this thing. 485 people. But I'm showing you 612. Look at what the payout is. with 612 people on your team, not what you've done by yourself, but what your team has done. This is a small church right here, 612 people. You're talking $200 a day, $6,000 a month in guaranteed income. You're on the third level of the presidential club, so that's another $2,500. That's $8,500 a month, or $102,000 a year for you. And we're not even talking about the $3,000 you just qualified for the house and car bonus. So now we're at $11,500 a month in residual income. Whew. How are we looking now? Things are good. Now, we feel, folks, that this is a perfect business for you. You get the instant pay raise, refer MWR Financial to others, let the experts do all the work, and then you enjoy the rewards, right? So what are the rewards? It's about setting yourself up with everything you need to succeed. What is it going to cost us to get this business started? A total of $228.97. You'll pay $99 up front one time. You're going to have a commitment of $40 per month for your back office, your website, your capture pages, your training material, your marketing material. It's going to help you track all your people, see the money in your organization, all of that. You're going to commit to $79.97 a month to get access to those experts, CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration, debt elimination, and investment consultant. So total investment up front of $228.97. I still don't know where you can go in the United States of America and invest $228 into a business one time and have the ability to generate this level of income with a whole team of corporate support and experts that do all the work for you. And all you do is represent the company and the products and say, here's what we can offer people in real time to change their lives. There's an ongoing fee of $119.97. That's your $40 for your back office. That's your $79.97 for your experts to have access to all the services. But MWR Financial says to me and you, the representative, the same thing they say to the customer. You refer 3 customers and we waive your $79.97. So now your cost to own this business is $40 a month. I've never paid $119.97. Why? Because when I saw the $119.97, what I saw was a bill. I didn't want another bill. How do we eliminate that? You get 3 customers. I went out and got 5 customers. Why did I get 5? I bought the extra 2 for cushion just in case one of the 3 didn't pay, because I never wanted to pay the $119. So I own this business for $40 a month. Still blows my mind that I have the ability to do that. Now, here's the beauty of it. The instant pay raise. If you're a W-2 employee, we're going to help you pay for this thing. If the average instant pay raise is $300 to $600 a month and the cost of the business and membership is only $120, what are the results? The business pays for itself. That's the beauty in MWR Financial and what we offer. But it gets better. They guarantee your success. What do you mean? If you follow the plan of action, the strategies and experts are not able to save and make you more money in your first 30 days, MWR Financial will give you a full refund. How can they make such a bold statement being a financial service company and make a guarantee like this? Because they know it works. I know it works, and many who have tried it already knows it works. Put your credit in front of these people and watch your scores go up. Set up an appointment with the CPAs, let them review your current tax situation, and watch them save you money. Set up a consultation with the investment consultant and watch those guys help you develop a wealth plan that's going to put you in a position where you'll never have to worry about money again. So in closing, folks, we say now is the time. I say if not now, then when? If not MWR Financial, then what? I pray that you've heard enough and seen enough to make a decision today to join us on this crusade, this mission, this ministry. You're going to hear from some folks on this line that have already plugged in and are getting massive results that are really, really changing not only their own lives, but everybody around them. So I thank you so much for hosting this event and giving me an opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you, Mr. Parker, for that wealth of knowledge. Very informative information.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
We do have a couple of questions that came in, and one of the questions is you talked about a form, a law form, a tax form, a tax law that has to deal with claiming yourself and your family as a business. Can you tell us what that form is again?
Okay, so it's a tax law. It's what it is, and I'm going to the page now. I'm going to find that for you here in a second. Let me go back. I'm going to find that for you.
And while you're looking for that, if you can answer this question, you talked about referring the referral for the 10 people. How long do you have to commit service before you can get the deferment payment of the $75 fee being waived, your monthly fee being waived?
$79.
So how long, when you refer someone, your 3 people, how long do they have to be with the company before you start to get that benefit?
The minute you get to 3, they waive your 79. So if we get those 3 people in before the month's out, when they hit your billing card next month, you will not pay the $119.97. You'd only pay $40. They'll waive your 79. So that's immediate.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, while you're looking for that.
I found it. Can you see the form? Well, it's not necessarily a form, but it's just the home-based business deductions.
No, we can't see that because you're not sharing your screen, but if you could just tell us what the law, where to find that law. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, let me do this.